Has exposed a major crisis in South Africa's public schools. The Education Labour Relations Council has flagged nearly 23,000 employee records for potential misconduct and payroll fraud. At the same time, the audit revealed that more than 610,000 pupils are attending school undocumented, and more than half of them are South African citizens. Joining us to explain these findings is the Education Labour Relations Council spokesperson, Bernice Loxton. Bernice, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it this morning for joining us on the show. Just to perhaps get a little bit more of the admin out the way too. This covers 8 provinces, if I'm correct, yes?
Good morning to you, Arabile, and to the viewers. You are correct, yes. 8 provinces participated in the verification process.
Are you able to share which province was the one that wasn't part of this? And any particular reason why? Sorry.
The Western Cape Education Department elected not to participate in the process up to completion. The department was represented by its HOD in the consultation engagements that we had with all stakeholders. The concern that the department had related to compliance with the POPI Act, and they sought legal advice. However, the ELRC ensured that all requirements were complied with, as we were advised by the information regulator. And our responsibility was to implement the request from parties to the ELRC to commission this project. And participation by provinces could not be imposed.
Yeah. So certainly not forced in that sense. Thank you so much for that. And I think that clarification kind of gives us a sense of understanding of where things lie and who and as well did not participate, etc. Are you able to share in terms of the provincial departments of education, which of these 22,000 that were flagged for potential fraud, one must add as well? It's not necessarily that is definitely the case, right? That's one. And two, which province actually has the highest of the 22,000 that were flagged?
The Eastern Cape reported the highest percentage of flagged personnel records, and this was followed by Gauteng at 9.2% and the Free State at 9.1%. It is important to note that a flagged record is not proof of wrongdoing. It simply means that the information requires further verification or correction.
Is this concerning for you? I mean, in previous iterations of a report like this, having nearly 23,000 being flagged for, as you said, potential misconduct, potential fraud, not that there's anything for certain, as you said right now. Would this be concerning for the ELRC?
It is concerning. However, like I mentioned, we at this point cannot label these as fraud or ghost workers in the system. The provincial departments of education, where there has been records that were flagged, they have been issued with reports for further investigation. And if there is any criminality that is identified, then that process would then be taken forward. But at this point, we cannot make the assumption that these are related, all these cases are related to fraud.
That also suggests, though, that there may be difficulty in then finding the proper allocation of funding, because if a situation like this is persisting, then the funding situation then doesn't get cleared up correctly, because you may be paying more or less than you possibly should because of a situation like this. How long do you think it usually takes to clear up whether that educator or that person actually exists within the system legitimately so?
Based on the flagged data sets that we have issued to the provinces, they would then, the report recommends.
There are over 610,000 undocumented pupils in the South African school system. The Education Labor Relations Council just did a survey of schools across 8 provinces, and amongst the many statistics that came out, one of the most shocking was the fact that there are over 610,322 undocumented pupils in the education system, with South Africans making the majority of that number. 362,571 of those pupils were South Africans, making up 59.4% of the data set. This basically means that these students have no form of identification with Home Affairs, like a birth certificate or anything else. But how exactly does a lack of documentation affect these students departmentally? We spoke to an expert who broke this down. Professor Jace Pillay from the University of Johannesburg's Faculty of Education stated that a lack of documentation carries a lot of issues administratively. Basically, the student would have an issue with receiving things like report cards, getting indemnity forms signed for school excursions or sports excursions, and even receiving their matric certificate, which would essentially make it impossible for that student to enter into tertiary institutions. And that does not even take into account the myriad of issues that same child will face trying to get anything done in South Africa. But I'm sure you're wondering how exactly a child ends up undocumented in the first place. Well, there are a plethora of reasons for this, including a late or missing birth certificate due to the lack of access of Home Affairs in certain areas, undocumented parents who by proxy cannot document their children, familial disruptions like orphaned children, and Home Affairs backlogs. And when Parliament found out about this issue during a Department of Basic Education Parliamentary Committee meeting, spokesperson for the Department of Home Affairs, Thulani Mavuso, said that the department was committed to solving the issue, while other MPs call this a crisis that would have lasting impact on these children's lives. Currently, there is no concrete plan of action from the Department of Home Affairs as to how they plan on rectifying this issue, as they say they are still yet to independently verify the findings of the ELRC. However, they have stated that they are committed to working with not only the DBE, but any other relevant departments in solving this issue. But we want to hear from you. What do you think of our child documentation crisis?
So viewers, good afternoon and welcome back again. If you are new here, please do also like, comment and share, subscribe and turn on the bell notification that will upload new video be the first to be notified. But the clip of video that you watch, I know that you have understood everything that are going there. Later they will start saying that South Africa are now trying. Now look at over 600 and something thousands undocumented people that is attending South Africa's school. How many citizens of South Africa is now attending their school? It's like all over the South Africa is full of undocumented people, the undocumented foreigners. I don't know why those people, they cannot go back to their own country. All of them are just there. South Africa, I feel like people should just leave my country. In every organization, in every school, anywhere is undocumented foreigners all over the place. This is one of the things that always got South Africa's pissed off. Yes, South Africa have a very good school, very standard and fascinating school. Everything about them is very nice. So you that watch this clip of video, just feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section.